Well done. If you are watching this, then you have made the wise decision to invest some time in yourself and your future. This is probably the most important decision you have made recently. Hi there. My name is Dave van Rensburg. I'm a partner at RS Recruitment and Training. Our fears and stresses related to job loss and unemployment may be different, but I have been where you are now. So I feel the pain and the stress you are going through at this very moment. But we all hope for a similar outcome, to be able to feed our families, pay expenses such as school fees, rent, doctor's bills, etc., etc. In this short webinar, we are going to discuss the various aspects of job loss and unemployment, share some solid advice on how to deal with this related stress, and finally, how to successfully move forward into the job market. Nelson Mandela, a man I admire immensely, once said, "I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but to triumph over it. The brave person is not the one who does not feel afraid, but the one who conquers that fear." In our business, nothing gives us more joy and pleasure than when one of our candidates lands that dream job. In fact, our mission statement reads, RS Recruitment and Training utilizes 40 years of combined experience to immediately help, enable, and equip job seekers with the fundamental tools vital for finding employment. As you near the end of this webinar, look out for our bonuses and a very special surprise we have in store for you. You will feel a whole lot better and motivated at the end of this webinar, at which point we will show you how you can move forward, be successful by introducing our work search webinars to you. This highly successful series, developed over years and now packaged into one easy to understand series of 3 webinars, including the reading material you'll need and a CV template, which we made available to you at a special offer, but for a limited time only during these difficult times. We will teach you how to customize your CV, not just once, but for every position that you apply for. We will show you how to build a powerful portfolio of evidence, vital for giving you that edge in an interview. We will teach you how to successfully conduct yourself in all types of interviews, including virtual interviews, which is not as easy as it sounds, and understandably becoming more and more popular with employers. We will also teach you how to network with other people to find those jobs that may not be advertised, not so easy to find, and you may be exactly what they're looking for. All but one of the jobs I've had in my career have been through networking. People talk about that moment in your life. Well, this is that moment. Congratulations again for investing some time in your future. So enjoy this first webinar, which is our free gift to you. And in a short while, we will tell you more about the special offers we have for you and exactly how you can take advantage of all this training and be in control of your own future. Remember, today is the first day of the rest of your life. But right now, I would like to introduce my partner, founder, and who is the RS behind RS Recruitment and Training, Romain Swanepoel. Romain has extensive experience in both recruitment and training and is the author of many papers on the subject, including the training you're about to embark on. Romain will be with you and guide you every step of the way on this exciting journey. She will also, in time, share some of the success stories she has helped create and been a part of. Welcome, Romain.
Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining me for the first in our series of work search webinars. I'm Romain Swanepoel, co-owner of RS Recruitment and Training. Today's webinar is all about how to deal with the anxiety and the stress that one experiences with a loss like job loss and loss of income. I'm going to help you understand the emotional phases that you go through, because when you understand something, you are better able to deal with it, recover, and then move forward. If you are at a stage where you are about to lose your job or you have recently lost your job, I can really empathize with you because I have been there. This has happened to me a few times in my career. I understand the emotional roller coaster that you go through when you are in this kind of situation. The denial, the anger, the bargaining, the depression, and finally, thankfully, acceptance. So, what you should go away with after this webinar is an understanding of why we experience the various emotions associated with job loss, and know about practical ways in which to deal with that stress. And finally, super important, know what practical steps to take in order to move forward after job loss. When we experience a crisis or a loss like death, divorce, or job loss, most of us will go through some version of the traditional 5 stages of grief. Now, these stages are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and finally, acceptance. The better you understand your thought processes during these phases, the better you will be able to deal with your emotions and the stress and move forward towards acceptance. The first emotion that you are bound to feel during a crisis like job loss is denial. You simply cannot believe that it's happening. On an emotional level, you are rejecting the fact to create a buffer to protect yourself against stronger emotions like anger, and so that you can continue functioning. Things that you might think or say during this phase is, I'm sure the employer will reconsider, or this might only be temporary, this is just a rumor or a mistake. Sooner or later, though, it will sink in that it is in fact really happening. And then it's quite natural for you to feel anger. You may feel this anger towards your employer, your co-workers, the economy, or even yourself. And people around you may find you getting temperamental and angry for no real apparent reason. And things that you might say or questions that you could ask at a time like this is, why me? It's not fair. How can this be happening to me? Or why would this happen? When you get to this stage, it's time to look for support. Surround yourself with family and friends who understand your challenge. Perhaps you can also seek counseling or guidance from a professional or from your religious leader. Be careful, though, that this guidance and counseling is productive and that you don't dwell, because dwelling for too long could hold you back. Once your outward anger subsides, it's time to move on to the next phase. The third phase involves the hope that you can avoid losing your job by bargaining with your former employer. Typical things that people might say at a time like this is, I'd give anything to be back. I'd work hard. I'd even take up the shift that I hated. Or, if only he'd give me my job back, I'd promise to stay focused and perform better. Or, maybe if I promised to work longer hours, they'd give me my job back. Like any of the 5 stages of grief, it's important to experience bargaining so that you can move past it. Beware, though, of being too hard on yourself at this point, because this can be damaging to your self-esteem and make you feel unnecessarily guilty. The next phase is depression and sadness. And thoughts that you might have at a time like this are, there is no meaning in working hard for an organization like this. There's nothing to look forward to. It'll really be tough to find something else, or I feel like giving up. Acknowledge your right to feel miserable. You're a human being, and when something bad happens, you have a right to be unhappy. Give your emotions space to exist. It's important to move through this phase, but it isn't pleasant. There are certain things, though, that you can do to help you through it. You will cope better with a stage of depression if once again you turn to your anchors for support. You can also keep your spirits uplifted and your confidence intact by thinking about all of the things that you accomplished and achieved during your working career, and make a list of these. Once you've made this list, choose the one that you're most proud of and write about it. You'll be surprised at how uplifting that can be and the positive impact that it can have on your self-confidence. Secondly, very importantly, is to have a daily routine. This gives you a sense of purpose and direction. Included in that routine should be an exercise program, because this is fantastic for relieving stress. Naturally, you should have a work search plan as well that you are implementing and making progress with. This makes you feel more in control, and that also helps to relieve the stress. In webinars 2, 3, and 4, we will give you many ideas that you can use as part of your work search strategy. Also included in your daily routine could be hobbies that you didn't have time for when you were working, and that's a nice reprieve. Finally, you need to take care of things financial, like, for example, having an emergency budget, and talk to your creditors. Tell them your situation and explain your circumstances, and come to some arrangement with them. You'll be amazed at how cooperative they can be. And taking that financial pressure off is hugely effective in reducing stress levels. And I speak from personal experience, because when COVID-19 hit and the lockdown happened, like most businesses around the world, we were very worried about the impact that it would have on our cash flow. So we spoke to our creditors, and they were amazing. 90% of them were cooperative and gave us assistance. It really is a worthwhile exercise. Finally, of course, there is acceptance, where you understand what happened, you've experienced it, and you're functioning through it. And as Michael J. Fox says, acceptance doesn't mean resignation. It means understanding that something is what it is, and there's got to be a way through it. When you feel that you have reached the stage of acceptance, there's just one thing you need to be aware of, and that is that you are not forcing it. Sometimes when we want to be in a better emotional place, we try to rush the process before we are ready. You will know if you are genuinely over your job loss if you can talk about the experience with objectivity. You can state the facts without the emotional commentary, and you can also take ownership of and be accountable for your part in your job loss. You don't have to feel great about your job loss at this point. It still would have been a rotten experience, but a certain calmness sets in and you start to feel more in control. You realize that it's going to be okay, and you start to think about preparing for something new, maybe even something better. This is when the job search is really ready to begin, when you are in a good mental place to cope with the job market. To recap then, we all go through the 5 stages of grief when we experience a tragedy or a loss, like death, divorce, or job loss. And these phases are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. In order for you to accept your job loss, you need to go through these emotions and allow them to exist. We all go through the process at our own pace, and sometimes even in a different order. Occasionally, you may even regress back to a previous phase for a while. The better you understand these phases, the better you will be able to manage them and prevent yourself from getting stuck in any one phase for too long. So, once you reach the final stage of acceptance, it's time to take action and move forward. The first thing we teach you in webinar 2 is how to customize your CV to increase your chances of landing interviews. Hiring managers and recruiters spend no more than an average of 5 to 10 seconds looking at a CV. So that's all the time you've got to convince them that you have what it takes to do the job. You need to be able to use keywords, the right keywords in the right places. You need to be able to use presentation and color to wow the reader, to motivate them to read further, where you provide more proof that you are the right person for the job. In Webinar 2, we will also show you how to put together a powerful portfolio which substantiates why you are the right person for the job. And this is not just a few certificates in a file. There is so much more to it. And this aspect of interview preparation is overlooked by most people. We also have a webinar about proactive networking to discover job opportunities which are never advertised. We show you how to identify potential employers by networking directly and indirectly via LinkedIn. But you need to have a proper LinkedIn profile, and we will show you how to do that. All of the above are designed to get you invited for interviews. And in our webinar about how to excel in all types of job interviews, we will talk about how to deal with telephonic interviews, online interviews, face-to-face interviews, panel interviews, and also second interviews. When you get to the interview stage, this is crunch time. This is where you have to perform and make sure that you land that job. How many of us have been invited for interviews and wanted to kick ourselves afterwards because we didn't showcase our skills properly? The statistic I mentioned earlier on, that recruiters and hiring managers spend no more than 5 to 10 seconds looking at a CV, is pretty scary. Don't worry though, we are here to help you upgrade and customize your CV so that it gets the attention it deserves in those first few seconds. RS Recruitment and Training is affiliated with APSO, so we are up with all the latest trends in the recruitment industry. And also, amongst us as a team, we have over 40 years experience in the industry. So we know what recruiters and hiring managers are looking for. And we've put that experience and knowledge to good use over the years, and we have many success stories. For example, Hayley Bevis, who was unfortunately retrenched. We helped her upgrade and customize her CV for her various job applications. After she sent it out for the first application, she was invited for an interview, and a week later she was made a job offer. Success stories like this are possible, and you could be one of them. We're going to go back to David now to hear his story about the challenges he faced when he was on the job market. And I'm sure many of you will be able to identify with his experiences.
Hi there, David here, chatting to you from home, where I've been in lockdown for the last few weeks. I want to explain why it is so important to have a customized CV and a powerful portfolio of evidence by briefly telling you my story. I bought my first business with only a dream, and that dream became almost 15 years of hard work. What began as a small retail outlet grew into a large wholesale retail business, employing over 80 people, producing 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Being self-employed, I never had the need for a CV, never mind a portfolio of evidence. During 2000, still in my early 40s, I moved to Durban. I'd always dreamt of living near the coast. After a short rest, I decided it was time to find a job. I had all the skills and experience from running my own business, accounting, finance, budgeting, marketing, sales, HR, maintenance, running a fleet of vehicles, but everything was up here, all in my head. I had nothing written down. I knew I had much to offer any company that employed me, but I had no idea where to start. So I jotted down a few tasks, and that formed the basis of my CV. Unfortunately, it was not presented in an appealing or professional way. Did you know that recruiters and hiring managers spend on average only 5 to 10 seconds looking at a CV? That's it. 5 to 10 seconds is all the time you have before they either bin it or put it one side for a closer look later. Well, guess what? I was binned most of the time. I had so much to offer, but this did not reflect on my CV. Never mind customizing it for each position I applied for, or a portfolio of evidence to strengthen my application. As a result, the few interviews I did get, I would sit down, answer all their questions, and discuss my experience. At this point, they would sit back and smile and tell me I was too qualified for the position and that I would be bored within a few months. How ridiculous, I thought. Please, all I need is a job. I did not have the tools or skills to properly demonstrate my abilities, and I did not back it up with important facts such as character witnesses, testimonials, and references. If only at the time I had contacted a reliable recruiting firm, such as RS Recruitment and Training, for their advice on how to construct a customized CV, powerful portfolio of evidence. If only at the time somebody had helped me and told me about these tools, I know I would have stood out, attended more relevant interviews, and finally landed the job I really wanted. Okay, let's get real for a moment. Stats say that less than 10% of the people watching this video will take action and sign up. But we also know there are only a few jobs available and many more people applying for them. Economists tell us that 7 to 10 million jobs may be lost in South Africa due to the current situation. So ask yourself this: do I want to get ahead of the curve, take every possible step I can to find a job, or am I just going to wing it, sit back and hope for the best? Our income is a direct result of the effort and time we spend on the outcome. Think about that. Our income is a direct result of the effort and time we spend on the outcome. The more effort you put in, the better the result. I get emails every day and phone calls every day. Please help me. I need a job. My child needs a job. Please give me a job. We cannot help you until you make the effort and sacrifice to help yourself. At this point, you have two choices. One, do nothing and bypass this opportunity to change your life. Or two, pony up the small investment now, today. Yes, small investment. If you include all the valuable contact, the extra reading material, the special offers we have lined up, and the security of knowing that you will have our full support every step of the way. I therefore urge you to complete this valuable training, which is a combination of various strategies packaged into powerful webinars and manuals. They will give you the knowledge and confidence you need and enable you to gain the distinct advantage over other job seekers. I do know what I'm talking about because I have been where you are now. And as recruiters, we have learned over the years what recruiters and hiring managers look for in a CV and portfolio of evidence. We receive up to 50 CVs a day. You cannot believe the CVs I come across. Some are just shocking, not to mention the simple grammar and spelling errors. Hello, spell check. 59% of CVs are missed opportunities because of simple mistakes. Trust me when I say I've seen it all, and I thought my old CV was bad. The question is, do we regard these CVs as serious job seekers? Unfortunately, we do not. If I had to be honest, only about 5% of all the CVs I see come close to the standard we teach you. Trust me when I say, if you are serious about finding your dream job, and I know you are, then take my advice. Complete our program now. It takes less than the time to watch a movie. Let RS Recruitment and Training show you how to construct a customized CV and a powerful portfolio of evidence and help you achieve your goals. Act now, and best wishes for the future.
Don't find yourself in the same situation as David. Act now. Take advantage of this opportunity and give yourself the edge in the job market. When we were investigating the costs of online training, we found that some courses, depending on their content, could cost anything up to 20,000 Rand. Having been through the process of putting an online course together, I can quite believe it. But our course is not going to cost anything close to that. We thought that if we priced our webinars at 500 Rand each, that would be a really good deal, because we are helping people invest in themselves and in their futures. But given the current situation with COVID-19 and the lockdown, and our mission that we are really passionate about, upskilling 20,000 people by 2025, we thought we could do better than that. So, for a limited time only, our webinars will cost 149 Rand each. When you invest in our second webinar, which is all about constructing a customized CV and a powerful portfolio, two essential tools that you need to successfully navigate the job market, for your 149 Rand, you will receive exclusive access to the webinar to view at a time that suits you. And secondly, you will also receive access to an online manual which covers everything discussed in that webinar for 3 months. And in addition to that, you will be able to download a CV template, which is already set out in the correct format. All you have to do is fill in the spaces. Easy peasy. But wait, there's more. If you were to buy all 3 webinars individually at 149 Rand each, you would be paying in total 447 Rand. We've decided to slash that price even more. If you buy all 3 webinars at once, you will only be paying 299, which means you get a 33% discount, and in effect, you will be paying less than 100 Rand per webinar, which is less than a takeaway meal. This would be a really worthwhile investment for you in yourself and your future, because it's something you can use for the rest of your career. For your 299 Rand investment, you will receive access to the webinars online, as well as the online training manuals, which cover creating a customized CV and powerful portfolio, excelling in all types of job interviews, and proactive networking to discover those job opportunities which are never advertised. This special offer is for a limited time only, so take advantage now by clicking on the link below. If you have any queries or you know of someone else who would benefit from our work search program, please let us know at info@rsrecruitment.co.za or visit our website www.rsrecruitment.co.za. Please also visit our Facebook work search group, where you can comment on your experiences with our webinars and also tell us about your challenges and your successes in the job market, so that we can all support one another during this process. Before we finish off today, I'd like to leave you with these wise words. Life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. In other words, making the best of the circumstances. And I'd like to congratulate you on being one of those people who dance in the rain. You've taken the initiative, you're watching these webinars, and you're upskilling yourself so that you can proactively deal with the job market. We've come to the end of our time together today. Don't forget to click on the link below, and I look forward to seeing you in our next webinar. Until then, keep safe and stay healthy.